All I can tell you is that the 2025 Street Glide Ultra is absolutely, well, I finally had a chance to ride the 2025 Street Glide Ultra, and it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. Today, I am going to tell you all of the details, everything you need to know about this bike if you're comparing it to like an Ultra Limited, which Harley is still making, or more specifically to the Road Glide. There is one area of this bike, of both bikes really, that is so profoundly different that it makes all the difference in the bike that I would choose. Now the Street Glide and the Street Glide Ultra have this same identical thing going on that I really want to focus on. But I'm going to give you the pros and cons. The nice part too is I was actually with a group of us in this Harley demo ride, and another rider was on an Ultra, and we were kind of parroting the same thing back and forth. So that makes this pretty interesting as well. So, of course, I want to hear your opinion. If you have one of these bikes, if you love it, maybe you've addressed the issue that I'm going to talk about. I'd love to hear from you guys, and just give me your opinion. Let's go ahead and get into it. Now, let's look at all the features of the bike, okay? We got the new 117. We have the updated fairing, of course, from 2024. So we have the new lights, new LEDs. My opinion, the Street Glide has never looked better. I absolutely love the new Batwing fairing. You, of course, have upgraded Brembo brakes. You now have that shaved front fender. They've lightened this bike up a lot, right? In running order, it's 866 pounds. Which is crazy because when you look at that compared to an Ultra Limited, which is 917, you're looking at what, 50 pounds? So that's a pretty big difference, and it feels lighter off of the kickstand. This is one of the things that I absolutely appreciate about what Harley has done in shaving a lot of that weight. But of course it has the updated cooling system too. So now you have those redesigned lowers, which are a point of contention for some. Others like them. Others say they're just a direct copy from Indian. Regardless of how you feel about them, they're actually functional now, right? Whereas before they housed radiators, of course, and your coolant hoses and stuff like that. Now you actually have storage in there, so you can throw whatever in there you need to, right? Along with that, you have the difference on the inside of the fairing as well. 12.3 TFT display, beautiful display. The little storage compartment under it with a USB-C cable, so you can plug your phone in. All your updated controls, of course, and all your safety features too. Cornering, traction control, drag torque control, everything is included in these new bikes. Of course, this being an Ultra, a couple more things that you're gonna get is the King Tour Pack. You can easily fit 2 full-size helmets in this. It's overall functionality, it's probably the best of all of the Tour Packs for sure. You get the little rack on top, you get the comfort seat for your passenger, and then of course you get a more comfortable kind of all-day type of, just a little bit more cushion in the seat. I'll talk about that here in a minute. You're also going to get the saddlebag guards, right, to protect those bags. And of course, now the bags are the same, right, between the regular Road Glide, the Street Glide Ultra, Street Glide. They're all the same. So you're actually going to get more storage space in those as well. You're going to get a little bit taller windshield too when you compare that to the regular Road and even the Street Glide. So we got a very sleek, clean tank, 6-gallon tank, of course. Updated everything on this bike, and it is built for one purpose, that is to pound down a lot of miles and do it in the most comfortable way possible. And I definitely want to get some of the positive things out of the way, what I actually like about this bike, before we get to the ones I don't like. The first thing is the power. The 117, the new 117 is fantastic. You're looking at like, I think it was 93 horsepower on the Ultra Limited and 122 foot-pounds of torque. Now you're at 105 and 130 foot-pounds of torque. It's definitely a little bit smoother, a little bit quicker. You're going to get a little bit more power out of it, okay? So on that front, I think it's great. The fact that it's lighter, so much lighter feeling than the Ultra Limited is fantastic. This is one of the best moves, I think, that Harley has made when it comes to shaving down weight. I mean, we get it, they're all big, heavy cruisers, they're built for a purpose, but that doesn't mean they have to be, you know, closing in on 1,000 pounds. They found ways to actually cut the weight, kind of similar to Indian. Indian hasn't really cut weight. They just find a really good way to balance their bikes so they don't feel so heavy, although they are quite heavy. That's kind of one of the complaints I have about Indian now, right? They got to cut some of that weight. Just a little bit, and Harley found a way to do it without making it feel cheap too. The upgraded screen, the upgraded features, I've talked about all this stuff. It's great. Now, here's where I'm not even too sure yet how I feel about it, and that is the look of those lowers. It does remind me a lot of Indian, but it's not direct copy of Indian, I guess. It does remind me of them. It really does, but that's not necessarily a bad thing either, right? Indian has some pretty good looking lowers too. They're a little bit more flat though, and they kind of have like a curve towards the top. So again, it's like maybe a slight similarity, but I just don't know how I feel about these. The King Tour Pack. These are things that, in my opinion, are just absolute must for any motorcycle, especially the saddlebag guards and the Tour Pack. They're crucial, right? So it comes with all this. Now, it's going to come in at a little bit more money as well, right? It's going to start about $30,700, somewhere in there. So that roughly $2,000, $2,500, $2,700, I guess, upcharge. Not too bad. The look, this blue burst that they have, absolutely beautiful. I love the Whiskey Fire and Black. That blue burst looks so good though. And I like the updated fairing. I really think the new LED and the LED strips just set this bike apart from previous Street Glides while still being recognizable. They freaking nailed it. The designers at Harley Davidson, I don't think I've ever had an issue with. I mean, they really know how to, for the most part, they know how to tap into what makes the bikes recognizable, but also advance them as well. So from the tank to everything on this bike, except for maybe the lowers, they did a fantastic job. The cons. This is kind of where I want to slice into this video in a way and tell you one of the biggest issues I have with this bike. Compared to a Road Glide, I feel scrunched. And I don't know, I can't see that much of a difference between the Street and the Road Glide as far as like inseam, but I feel like my knees are higher up on the tank. It's very similar to the Street Glide. I just feel like I don't have good leverage. The bars are too low. The floorboards are maybe up just a little too high or something. Or maybe it's just the way I'm sitting in relation to the bars and to the floorboards. It makes it so much different than the Road Glide. Again, I don't know how to quantify that inseam difference, riding position, whatever is actually causing me to have this type of feeling towards it, but it is noticeably different, at least for me. So when I stopped, we were kind of at a stoplight, and you know, one of the guys that was riding, he was like, "Hey, what you think?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's okay." He was like, "Man, I feel scrunched." And I was like, "Dude," he was much taller than me too, by the way. "I get why you feel scrunched." I was like, "But I'm way shorter than you, and I feel scrunched." It just, everything just seems so compact. The Chieftain is the same exact way. But just like the bike we literally just gave away, handlebars, different seat, this, I think, can make all the difference. So if you go to test ride one of these bikes and you have the same feeling, first of all, it can be fixed, right? That Street Glide was a great representation to me of how much of a difference those handlebars will make on this bike. And of course, saddleman seat with a backrest, that's my go-to now because it is the best combo in the game and it's the most comfortable one. But if you ride this, you got to ride a Road Glide next to it because, in my opinion, the Road Glide with even the stock handlebars and just the way everything's configured and how you're sitting is almost perfect. If not perfect, it's way better than what you will find on the Street Glide. And, you know, you option it out, so you go and, you know, work a King Tour Pack or a regular Tour Pack, Chop Tour Pack, whatever. You know, you can get all that stuff, right? You get your saddlebag guards. If you don't like the traditional ones that come on the bike now, you could actually get some of the updated ones like I put on my bike. So it's not like you can't do the stuff to this bike with just a base Road Glide. Or even a base Street Glide for that matter, if you like the seating position, or you just want to kind of change it up and swap those bars out and whatever you need to do. But in my opinion, it's just not as comfortable. And I really don't know if those fairings make that much of a difference to me. I don't know. Now, I do appreciate the fact that the fairings, especially in wintertime, the old ones on the Ultra Limited, they were pushing so much hot air, dude, that it was actually pretty nice in cold weather. This one, you don't have that going on, and I definitely didn't, like, sometimes you'll get heat that will build up in that area. That was not going on, right? And this was a hot day too. So that was actually nice to see, right? So there is some benefit there to having those lowers if you like the aesthetics. Overall, I love this bike. I just would have to automatically change handlebars and the seat right off the rip because it makes all the difference. If you don't want to do that, the Road Glide is something you should definitely ride, and ride them back to back if you can. Street Glide Ultra, it's kind of what I expected. This is not the first choice I would go with. I just find the Road Glide to look a little better, to cut through the wind a little better, to be a little bit more comfortable. Overall, I just like it better. I guess my opinions have changed over time. I don't want a Harley cushiony seat because I don't think they're that good. I don't really even want the King Tour Pack, even though I think it's the most functional. I'm not a huge fan of the aesthetics either. So there's just things on this bike that I don't necessarily need. And for me, it's not worth the extra $2,700. But maybe it would be for you. Overall, it is a good bike. So I don't want you walking away thinking I hate it, but that's kind of where I'm at with it. Love to hear you guys that own one. What are some of the first changes that you've made to them? Or even a regular Street Glide? Maybe you chose a Road Glide. Whatever your opinion is, leave that down below. If you like what I do, consider subscribing. See you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.